For today, it's Kelly Bhatka. Sorry, the sun's shining right in the eyes. Our next speaker brings to light a message that is exemplary to the phrase, "Don't sweat the small stuff." Kelly addresses the virtues and patience of empathy through a personal lens and shares an aspect of resilience as she delivers a speech entitled, "Patience and Empathy." Please welcome Kelly Bhatka.
Approximately 54 million people are impacted by a disability in the United States. That number represents 1 in 5 Americans, and the American Disability Act, they define a disability as physical or mental limitations that severely limit life activities. And at times, the disabled are made to feel feckless. Good morning, distinguished Toastmasters, and guests. The purpose of my talk today is to share more about the disabilities that are not so easily noticeable. Those who display courage and strength to push through those life activities and walk each day with a strong mind. The key message from today's speech is that if the mind can conceive it, the body can will it. What I know about individuals with physical limitations or setbacks is that they do not want pity. They just want normalcy as much as possible. So my story is personal. I have 2 incredibly amazing sisters, both independent, highly educated, and fiercely successful individuals, and both who function on a daily basis, fighting against the label of disability. They fight the urge to give in or give up and are my heroes in many ways due to the life lessons I've learned from their resilience. My older sister Anita has lived with lupus since her early 20s. Lupus is an autoimmune disease, which means that her body gets confused and attacks her own immune system. There's different variations of lupus, but the effects are extreme fatigue, sporadic high fever, joint pain, inflammation of kidneys, etc. Many years ago when Anita visited from Houston, I thought it would be a great idea to take her to a theme park. That sounds pretty normal, right, in Orlando? Because she can't be in the sun too much and excessive walking causes fatigue, I thought it would be comfortable and convenient to get a wheelchair. She refused to sit in the wheelchair. She insisted that as long as she could, she would push herself, and only if needed would she succumb to the wheelchair. That wheelchair that day carried a lot of bags and backpacks, but it did not carry her. She has fought ailments with prescriptions and Ayurvedic medications, homeopathy, herbal meds, you name it, she's tried it. And often she has been my coach on wellness and healthy living. Next, I'd like to share about my younger sister. Her name is Swati, and she is a survivor of a horrific car accident from Christmas of 1999. It took 3 hours to remove her from the crushed vehicle with the help of Jaws of Life, and then she spent another 3 months in the hospital hanging on to her life. Let me begin by sharing the extent of her injuries. Do me a favor, everyone. Take a hand and cover one of your eyes completely, and just take a moment to look around and see the limitations that might cause when you don't have eyesight in one eye. Thank you for that exercise. The limited view with that vision is only in one eye, and that is only the start of her list of setbacks. She is permanently blind in one eye. But you would never know it, as both her eyes are beautiful in shape and size, and they look absolutely functional, both eyes, normal. Her head injuries took precedent over checking for vision loss, and by the time it was discovered, The nerves were damaged and her ability to see was lost permanently. She has plates in her head, screws in her hips, anxiety, neuropathy, a little bit of a list that is challenging. However, when you look at her, she appears very much like you and me. Any other individual that you may pass every day, the scars are not visible on the outside. She battles pain daily, and after more than 20 years working on her feet as a registered nurse in a cardio cath lab, she simply cannot stand on her own 2 feet anymore. Her fight to return to work was a fight she lost, and unable to work, she would give anything today to be able to go back into that hospital, but just not as a patient. With these stories, my message is to simply pause and appreciate the human spirit in all of us. Disability comes in all shapes and sizes, and while most are visible, many are not. Each of us in this room can relate to these stories. Perhaps it is someone in this room who champions courage and overcomes their own form of disability. Without seeing the whole picture, we cannot lose patience and have empathy for these individuals. I urge you to pause and reflect and let the small things go. There's more to appreciate in the simple acts of living. And with this speech, ladies and gentlemen, I honor my sister Anita. Today is her birthday. Both of these ladies are special to me. Thank you.